When Michael Jackson visited a children's cancer ward in 1987, he thought he was just cheering up sick kids. But what happened to one little boy named Lucas changed everything. Not just for him, but for Michael too. This is the story of how a single act of kindness created two miracles, and how healing can flow in both directions when hearts connect across impossible circumstances. This isn't just a story about celebrity charity. It's about how sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest changes, and how one 5-minute encounter can transform two lives forever. 7-year-old Lucas Rodriguez had been fighting acute lymphoblastic leukemia for 9 months when his doctors delivered the news his parents had been dreading most. Dr. Sarah Martinez sat down gently across from Lucas's parents, Miguel and Carmen Rodriguez, in the sterile consultation room at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. "I'm so sorry," Dr. Martinez said, her voice heavy with the weight of delivering impossible news. "We've exhausted all our treatment options. The cancer has spread aggressively, and Lucas's body isn't responding to any of the therapies we've tried. It's time to focus on making him as comfortable as possible." The words hung in the hospital room like a death sentence. Lucas had maybe 2 weeks left, 3 at the most. His small body had endured months of chemotherapy, radiation, and experimental treatments, but nothing was working. The aggressive cancer cells seemed determined to win this battle against a child who should have been playing soccer and learning to ride a bicycle instead of fighting for his life. But on November 3, 1987, something happened that would change medical impossibility into miraculous reality. Lucas was having one of his better days, sitting up in bed in room 267, carefully coloring in his favorite superhero coloring book with his remaining strength. His energy came in waves now, brief periods where he almost seemed like a normal 7-year-old, followed by long stretches of exhaustion and pain that no child should ever have to endure. The head nurse, Mrs. Thompson, came rushing into his room with barely contained excitement, her face glowing with the kind of smile that hadn't been seen on the pediatric ward in weeks. "Lucas, sweetie," she said, practically bouncing on her feet, "we have a very special visitor coming to see you today. Someone very, very special." "Another doctor?" Lucas asked weakly, his voice so small it was barely audible above the quiet hum of the medical equipment surrounding his bed. "No, honey," Mrs. Thompson replied, her eyes twinkling with a secret. "Someone much more special than any doctor." 25 minutes later, Michael Jackson walked through the door of room 2067, and Lucas's eyes went wider than they had in months. Even at 7 years old, even while fighting the battle of his life, Lucas knew exactly who this was. His older sister Sophia played Thriller constantly at home, and Lucas had spent countless hours trying to learn Michael's dance moves before he got sick. "Hi, Lucas," Michael said softly, approaching the hospital bed with the gentle, careful movement he always used around children. "I heard you were one of the bravest little guys in the whole world." Lucas just stared, unable to speak, unable to believe that Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson, was actually standing in his hospital room, talking directly to him. "Would you like me to sing you a song?" Michael asked, his voice warm and inviting. Lucas managed a small nod, and Michael began singing "You Are Not Alone" in his soft, angelic voice. But he changed some of the lyrics as he sang, making them personal for this one special little boy. "Lucas, you are not alone. Lucas, I am here with you." For the first time in weeks, Lucas smiled. Really, truly smiled. The kind of smile that reached his eyes and made his parents remember what joy looked like on their son's face. But Michael didn't just sing to Lucas. He pulled up the small chair beside the hospital bed and started asking about the coloring book, genuinely admiring Lucas's careful artwork and listening intently as the little boy explained each superhero's special powers. "And this is Captain Thunder," Lucas said, his voice getting slightly stronger as he got excited about sharing his favorite characters. "He can fly and he's super strong, and he always protects kids from bad guys." "Captain Thunder sounds like my kind of superhero," Michael said, examining the coloring page with complete seriousness. "Just like you're being super strong right now, fighting the bad guys in your body." Then Lucas pointed to his favorite possession on the bedside table, a worn teddy bear dressed in a tiny captain's uniform. "That's Captain Bear," he said proudly. "He's been with me through all my treatments. He's brave like me." "Captain Bear looks like he's been taking really good care of you," Michael said, picking up the teddy bear and examining it with the same careful attention he'd given to the coloring book. "And you're absolutely right. You are brave, Lucas. Braver than any superhero I know." Then Michael did something that made Lucas giggle for the first time in weeks. He taught the little boy how to moonwalk while lying in his hospital bed, helping Lucas move his small feet under the covers in the signature sliding motion. "There you go," Michael laughed, his own face lighting up at the sound of Lucas's laughter. "You're a natural moonwalker." Lucas's parents, Miguel and Carmen, watched from the doorway with tears streaming down their faces as they saw their son come alive in a way they hadn't witnessed since before his diagnosis. For these precious few minutes, Lucas wasn't a dying cancer patient. He was just a 7-year-old boy meeting his hero and learning to moonwalk in a hospital bed. But the most magical moment came when Michael pulled out a small cassette tape from his jacket pocket. "Lucas," he said, leaning closer to the bed, "this is a song I'm working on for my next album. You're going to be the very first person besides me who's ever heard it. Will you tell me what you think?" Michael put the tape in Lucas's small radio and pressed play. The opening notes of "Heal the World" filled the hospital room, and Lucas listened with intense concentration, his eyes closed, swaying slightly to the music despite his weakness. "It's beautiful," Lucas whispered when the song ended. "It makes me feel hopeful inside, like maybe everything will be okay." "That's exactly what I hoped it would do," Michael said, his voice thick with emotion. "Music has the power to heal hearts, Lucas. Sometimes it can even help heal bodies too." Before leaving, Michael signed Lucas's cast where his port had been inserted for chemotherapy treatments. In his distinctive handwriting, he wrote, "To my brave friend Lucas, keep fighting like a superhero. Love, Michael Jackson." The entire visit lasted exactly 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes changed 2 lives forever. The change in Lucas was immediate and undeniable. Within hours of Michael's visit, something shifted in the little boy that the medical staff couldn't explain but couldn't deny. "He's asking for food," Nurse Patricia Santos reported to Dr. Martinez the next morning, her voice filled with amazement. "Yesterday he could barely take a few sips of water, and this morning he finished an entire breakfast and asked for seconds. And he's asking about his treatment schedule," Dr. Martinez added, looking puzzled as she reviewed Lucas's chart. "He wants to know when his next appointment is, because he says he wants to get strong enough to show Michael Jackson his moonwalk when he comes back to visit." Lucas's parents were equally amazed by the transformation they were witnessing. "He's been humming 'Heal the World' all morning," Carmen Rodriguez told the medical team, her voice filled with a hope she hadn't felt in months. "And he keeps practicing that moonwalk thing under his covers. He says he's training to be strong like Captain Thunder." The medical team remained cautiously optimistic, but Lucas's blood work over the following days showed something none of them had expected or seen in their years of treating pediatric cancer. His white blood cell count was improving dramatically. "It's highly unusual," Dr. Martinez admitted to Lucas's parents during a consultation a week after Michael's visit. "But sometimes a patient's mental and emotional state can have a significant impact on their physical response to treatment. Hope, it seems, really can be powerful medicine." Over the next 6 months, Lucas's improvement defied every medical prediction and challenged everything the doctors thought they knew about his particular type of cancer. His appetite returned completely. His energy increased daily. Most importantly, his body began responding to treatments that had previously been completely ineffective. "I've been treating pediatric leukemia for 18 years, Dr. Martinez told Lucas's parents during a consultation in April 1988. "I've never seen anything quite like what's happening with Lucas. His latest scans show something remarkable." "What do you mean?" Miguel Rodriguez asked, afraid to hope but unable to stop himself. "I mean that as of today's tests, we can find no trace of cancer anywhere in Lucas's body," Dr. Martinez said, her voice filled with wonder. "We'll continue monitoring him closely, of course, but this appears to be complete remission." Lucas, now 8 years old and full of energy, had only one concern when he heard the news. "Can I write a letter to Michael Jackson? I want to tell him I'm all better and thank him for the song." But Lucas's miraculous recovery was only half of the miracle that began that day in November 1987. What the Rodriguez family didn't know was that meeting Lucas had profoundly impacted Michael Jackson as well. Michael had been struggling with his own challenges in 1987. Intense media pressure, isolation from normal life, and a growing sense that his fame was creating barriers between him and genuine human connection. The relentless spotlight of celebrity had begun to make him question whether he was making any real difference in the world beyond entertainment. "That little boy reminded me why I started making music in the first place," Michael confided to his producer Quincy Jones just days after visiting Lucas. "It wasn't for the money or the fame or the records. It was to make people feel better, to bring joy and healing into the world." Michael's longtime assistant Karen Fay noticed the change in Michael immediately after his hospital visit. After he met Lucas, Michael started asking about visiting more hospitals. Karen recalled years later. "He'd always done charity work, but this was different. It became deeply personal for him. He said Lucas taught him that healing could flow in both directions. Michael began making regular, unannounced visits to children's hospitals across the country. He never publicized these visits, never brought cameras or press. These became some of the most important and meaningful activities in his life. Michael told me that Lucas taught him something profound, Karen remembered. He said that when you help someone else feel better, it heals something inside you too. Lucas gave Michael as much as Michael gave Lucas. The song Heal the World, which Lucas had been the first person to hear, was released in 1991 and became one of Michael's most beloved anthems of hope and healing. Michael often said that Lucas was his inspiration for finishing the song and making it the centerpiece of his message about making the world a better place. In May 1988, 8-year-old Lucas Rodriguez wrote a letter to Michael Jackson.
Dear Michael, my name is Lucas Rodriguez. You visited me in the hospital when I was very sick. The doctors say I'm all better now. I wanted to thank you for singing to me and teaching me the moonwalk. I practice every day during my physical therapy. I listen to Heal the World every night before bed because it makes me feel safe and happy. I hope I can meet you again someday to show you how good I've gotten at moonwalking. Your friend Lucas.
Michael not only received the letter, he responded personally. Dear Lucas, I was so happy to get your letter. I knew from the moment I met you that you were going to get better. You have the strongest spirit of anyone I know. I'm proud of you for working so hard to get healthy. Keep practicing that moonwalk. I have a feeling you're going to be amazing at it. You know something? Meeting you helped me feel better too. Sometimes when adults are feeling lost, talking to brave kids like you reminds us what's really important in life. So thank you for helping me remember why music matters. Keep being the superhero you are. Love, Michael. This letter exchange began a friendship that would last for years and inspire both Lucas and Michael to dedicate their lives to helping others heal. As Lucas grew up, his experience with Michael and his recovery shaped his entire worldview and career path. Music saved my life, Lucas would tell anyone who asked about his cancer experience. Not just the medical treatment, but the hope and healing that came from Michael's visit. The way his voice made me believe that everything would be okay when I had given up believing in anything. By age 12, Lucas was taking piano lessons and writing his own songs. By 14, he was volunteering at the same children's hospital where he'd been treated, bringing music to current patients and sharing his story of hope. There's something special about Lucas, observed Dr. Martinez, who continued following his progress years after his treatment. He has this natural ability to connect with sick children that goes beyond normal volunteer work. They trust him immediately because he's been exactly where they are. In high school, Lucas's career path became crystal clear. He would study medicine and music therapy, combining both fields to help sick children the way Michael had helped him. Lucas Rodriguez graduated valedictorian from USC's Dual Medical and Music Therapy program in 2003. His thesis was titled, The Neurological Impact of Music on Pediatric Cancer Recovery, a Study in Hope as Medicine, inspired entirely by his own experience and recovery. Music doesn't just make patients feel better emotionally, Lucas's research concluded. It creates measurable physiological changes that can enhance the effectiveness of traditional medical treatments and boost immune system function. In 2003, Michael Jackson sent Lucas a congratulations card for his graduation. Dear Dr. Lucas, I always knew that brave little boy who learned to moonwalk in a hospital bed was destined for greatness. Thank you for dedicating your life to helping other children heal. The world needs more people like you. Love always, Michael. Dr. Lucas Rodriguez completed his residency in pediatric oncology while simultaneously developing innovative music therapy programs for children's hospitals. His approach was revolutionary. Instead of using music merely as entertainment for sick children, he used it as actual medicine, incorporating specific songs, rhythms, and interactive experiences designed to boost immune function and accelerate healing. Dr. Rodriguez's programs show statistically significant improvements in patient outcomes, reported Dr. Jennifer Walsh, Chief of Pediatric Oncology at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Recovery times are faster, pain management is more effective, and patient morale is dramatically improved. By 2010, Dr. Lucas Rodriguez had implemented music therapy programs in over 100. His methods were being taught in medical schools, and his research was being cited in pediatric journals globally. But Lucas never forgot the source of his inspiration. In 2009, when Michael Jackson died, Dr. Lucas Rodriguez established the Healing Hearts Foundation to ensure Michael's legacy of bringing joy to sick children would continue forever. Michael taught me that healing isn't just about medicine, Dr. Rodriguez explains from his office, where photos of Michael with young patients line the walls alongside his medical degrees. It's about hope, connection, and joy. Those are medicines you can't get from any pharmacy, but they're often the most powerful treatments we have. The Healing Hearts Foundation operates in 20 countries and has helped over 45,000 sick children since 2009. Their programs include bedside music therapy, group music sessions for children's cancer wards, training programs for medical staff, and research initiatives studying music's impact on recovery. We measure our success not just in smiles but in actual medical outcomes, Dr. Rodriguez notes. Children in our programs show 35% faster recovery times and require 30% less pain medication on average. Today, Dr. Lucas Rodriguez is 44 years old and considered one of the world's leading experts in pediatric music therapy. His work has inspired a new generation of medical professionals who understand that healing involves much more than just treating symptoms. Michael Jackson's 5-minute visit to my hospital room has now resulted in over 75,000 hours of music therapy for sick children worldwide. Dr. Rodriguez reflects. That's the exponential power of kindness. One small act of love keeps multiplying and creating healing everywhere it goes. Dr. Rodriguez's story teaches us that acts of kindness, no matter how small they might seem at the time, can create ripples that last for generations and touch hundreds of thousands of lives. You don't have to be a global superstar to change someone's life, Dr. Rodriguez tells the young medical students he mentors. Sometimes all it takes is 5 minutes of genuine care, attention, and love. That's what Michael gave me, and I've spent my life trying to give that same gift to others. Michael Jackson's 5-minute visit to 7-year-old Lucas Rodriguez in 1987 created 2 miracles. It saved a dying child's life and gave a global superstar renewed purpose and meaning. Michael and I healed each other that day, Dr. Rodriguez says. He gave me the will to live, and I gave him a reminder of why his gift to the world mattered. Today, our foundation continues both legacies, Michael's desire to heal the world and my commitment to proving that healing is always possible. Sometimes the smallest act of love creates the biggest change. Sometimes a 5-minute visit becomes a lifetime mission. And sometimes saving someone else's life is exactly what saves your own. Michael Jackson thought he was just cheering up one sick child in 1987. That child grew up to heal 45,000 other children through the power of music and love. That's not just a hospital visit. That's a miracle multiplied. That's what happens when kindness meets purpose and healing flows in both directions forever.